Jesus, Rags. How much artificial sweetener do you need for one cup of coffee?
Enough to make up for the lack of cream that's in the coffee? Ugh, and it tastes as sad as it looks.
A shot or two of sweet cream won't do any harm.
Well, I'm not gonna take any chances. The situation is complicated enough as it is. I don't think we need me accidentally getting myself drunk on top of it.
Fair point.
Hmm. So, you and Walden, huh?
I mean, kinda, but not really. It was kinda complicated.
Yeah. The awkward love triangle between me, Wally, and Neighbor constantly had us going in circles. Just when I'd start to think Wally was moving on from me to get closer to Neighbor, he turned right back around to pester me while giving them the cold shoulder. The Resurrection Project didn't really seem to help matters either.
Is that why you decided to terminate the Resurrection Project?
Yeah, I know it was cruel, and I know it should have been something we discussed beforehand. But you've got to understand, Walden was a pretty self aware kind of guy, way more than you'd probably expect from someone like him. But when it came down to Ophelia, all bets were off. He wasn't going to stop unless he had her back, or unless somebody made him.
And you decided to go with the latter.
Yeah,
But that isn't the whole story. Right, Julie?
Barbie, don't.
Why don't you tell him? Tell him just how close the project was to being completed when you decided to shut it down.
Okay. It was pretty close.
Just how close are we talking about here?
About a week, maybe? And Ophelia's new body would have been finished?
Yeah, right. Try like 3 days. Wally was over the moon with the progress we'd been making. The one thing I still can't fathom, though, is why you weren't.
Because I knew what Wally was planning. He had it in his head that bringing back our daughter would make everything alright again. Like, bringing Ophie back would fix the absolute train wreck that was our marriage. But what had he done to better himself? Nothing. I thought. I thought terminating the Resurrection Project would give him the fresh start that he actually needed. Shake him off of me and out of the past, and offer him a new start with Neighbor.
Yeah, and look how well that went for you.
So that's a full scoop on the Resurrection Project. What about you, neighbor? What's your story?
Ooh. Well, you know that regeneration serum you found in here a few days ago?
Yeah?
Remember the list of test subjects you found along with it?
Mm-hmm.
Redacted.
Rite. What?
Yeah. I was subject number 5.
Seriously? Walden seriously used you as a test subject.
You don't understand. It wasn't supposed to be. It's just. After that whole thing with the Resurrection Project and Barnaby and Julie, Wally needed something to believe in again. A new project of sorts. At the time, his prosthetic was giving him problems, and we no longer had Barnaby around to help fix it. So I pitched the idea for a regeneration serum so that he wouldn't need the prosthetic anymore.
Okay. Go on.
Coincidentally, when the first tests of the serum were being conducted, I accidentally got one of my hands caught in the grinder.
Coincidentally. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
It was a freak accident, I swear. Anyways, because the first tests of the serum had all been successful, we thought it'd be safe to use. Well, I thought it'd be safe to use. Wally was still unsure, but I talked him into it. And that's when it all went wrong.
No.
I remember it burning. It hurt so much I couldn't think. I thought that meant it had to be working, just going based on how the other 4 subjects had reacted to it. But then I started coughing up blood, and my vision went dark. The next thing I know, I'm standing next to Wally in his lab, watching him hold my lifeless body. Hey Rags? You doing okay?
Rags? Hey,
Sorry.
You all right there, kid?
I think so. It's strange. It almost felt like I had a flashback there for a moment.
Did you experience something similar at some point?
No, I haven't. That's what's troubling me.
what was that you were saying earlier about the long-term consequences of switching bodies with someone?
What are you suggesting exactly?
Well, if you're willing to humor my hypothesis, somehow you and Walden managed to swap consciousness. Your consciousness is in his body, meaning you're still sharing space in his head with his brain, and more importantly, how his brain operates.
Go on?
You can see us, and you're concerned that adding cream to your coffee will have a serious effect on you.
What are you getting at?
My hypothesis? Whatever happened to the two of you, if you remain stuck as each other for long enough, then eventually you'll become each other too. His behaviors and tendencies will become your own, and vice versa.
Is that even possible?
We make rainbows out of puppets, and you're asking me if that's possible?
Touché. Yeah, Rags, you probably want to go find Wally and try to get this mess sorted out.
Right. Thanks for everything, you guys.
Don't mention it.
We got your back, buddy. Don't you worry.
Right.
And Rags,
Yeah?
please try to get Wally to remember me. And if you're unable to fix this, please don't forget about me. Or any of us.
I promise. I'll do my best.
Hey, boss, wait up. Would you slow down a little bit?
Sorry if I'm not exactly enjoying the novelty of being my assistant right now. The sooner we get this mess sorted out, the sooner we can all get on with our lives.
He's got a point, you know. If Rex was willing to cancel production without being given the order to do so, who knows what they could be getting up to down in the lab.
Thank you, Howdy. At least someone here understands the gravity of the situation.
Look, there they are. Hey, Rags.
What the? What's going on here?
The jig is up, boss. These guys know everything.
I'm sorry. The fuck did you just call me?
Boss? Wait, why the hell did I just say that?
Well, at least we don't have to waste any time trying to fill these two in on what's going on, right?
Right. Actually, we found out something that we feel like you should know.
Same here. You go first.
It would seem that good-for-nothing Jeremy has been up to no good again.
In what way?
The voodoo kind of way. The idiot decided it would be a wonderful idea to make voodoo dolls of us. However he managed to do it, that's why we wound up like this.
Are you serious?
Do I look like I'm joking right now? Anyways, what have you managed to learn while you were snooping around down in the lab?
I wasn't snooping around for anything.
Well, you had to be up to something while you were down there. Whatever your stupid boundary lines are supposed to mean, it's different. Something's different. Something changed. And something tells me that's not a good thing.
All right, just calm down. Nothing has changed, but I am glad I let you go first, because that's going to make my findings a little bit easier to understand.
What do you mean by that? What did you find out exactly?
Whatever the hell kind of voodoo dolls Jeremy managed to make, it resulted in our consciousnesses being swapped. Mine is in your body, and vice versa.
Okay. Now tell me something I don't know.
That's all that was switched, meaning that consciousness still has to compete with our brains and how they function. You can see boundary lines. You go limp whenever you get overly stressed, and you just referred to me as boss a moment ago. There's a chance that if we can't find a solution to this, we'll eventually become each other.
And might I ask how you managed to figure all of this out?
Do you really want to know?
I don't know. What sort of secrets do you intend on exposing, Patchwork?
Why didn't you ever tell us you had the ability to see ghosts and spirits?
What?
Oh boy, here we go.
This whole time? Really?
Yeah, the whole time. Now, do you want to tell them? Or should I?
So, there are a few ghosts that wander the facility. People are tortured and die here on a daily basis. Why would that be surprising to any of you?
I've got a feeling that Rags was referring to who the ghosts were, rather than just them being here.
Well, that I don't know.
Barnaby, Julie, and Neighbor. That's who they are.
What? They were here? They were here this whole time and you didn't even say anything?
If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. I don't know them.
Uh-huh. And why the fuck should we believe you? Come to think of it, why should we be expected to follow your orders at all? I mean, the only thing you've managed to prove to us lately is that you're a psychotic maniac that would kill everyone in this factory and the entire city if he could. From where I'm standing, you aren't fit to be managing this facility.
Is that a fucking challenge, Howdy?
Yeah, I suppose it is.
You guys, wait.
Huh? Rags, what?
Stand down, Pillar. If you so much as lay a hand on them, I'll crush you like the insect you are.
Rags?
Okay, guys. I've got the whoa. Bad time?
No, perfect timing, actually. Assistant, snap out of it.
Howdy? I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me just now.
It's fine, buddy. It's just, I think Sally and I are gonna sit this one out. I don't think either of us are going to be very much use in this situation. We'd probably just be in the way. Right, Sally?
Yeah, right. If you need anything, you know where to find us.
All right. I'll see you later then, I guess.
Okay then. Now, about the voodoo dolls.
Right. I've got the dolls. I had them somewhere nice and safe where they couldn't be lost or damaged. I gave Frank the books that taught me how to make them, and they're busy gathering as much additional information as they can possibly find. He said he was going to meet us over an interrogation.
All right. Let's head over there and see what we can do. The sooner we get this situation sorted out, the better.
Agreed.
Hey, howdy.
Yeah?
What do you get when you combine the minds of the neighborhood creature and the Midnight Maniac?
A big fucking problem, that's what.
Ah, there you guys are. Wait a minute. Where did Howdy and Sally run off to? I thought they were tagging along.
They were. Something came up.
Rags almost attacked Howdy.
Jeremy, shut the hell up.
You? Attack Howdy?
I mean, it's not that much of an exaggeration. I did threaten him, didn't I?
What you did was do your part as my assistant. You put an employee in their place that had stepped out of line. More than that, you protected me, which wasn't exactly necessary, but I'm glad to see you took the initiative.
Is this your roundabout way of saying thank you?
Sure. Let's go with that.
All right, then. You got the voodoo dolls, Jeremy?
Yep, got him right here. Boss, yours is going to be the one that looks like Rags. And Rags, yours is the one that looks like Walden.
Okay, this is, a little creepy. Is this real hair that the dolls have on their heads?
Yeah? Dare I ask, how the hell did you manage to gather samples from us? From your hairbrushes. And suddenly I have the urge to seal off every vent in my dorm room.
Agreed. Seriously, Jeremy, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, all right? Like I said, I didn't think it'd actually work. I was just frustrated with how the boss was treating all of us when I stumbled across a book on how to make these voodoo dolls.
So, you literally made these just to vent?
I guess you could say that, yeah. But I thought it was just a bunch of made-up nonsense, like everything else that appears in these kinds of books. Hey, I take offense to that. Voodoo and ragdolls actually have a shared history that goes back centuries. Sure, living voodoo dolls aren't quite like these little puppets, but their abilities and cultures are nothing to sneeze at. That's how people like you wind up getting their asses cursed.
Well, in any event, it looks like Jeremy was at least smart enough to make dolls that were simple and easy to reverse.
Really? Just how easy are we talking here? Can we do it now?
Well, not exactly. The spell can be reversed, but it won't be completely undone until the two of you fall back asleep and wake up tomorrow.
Wouldn't a nap be more than enough to undo this whole mess?
Nope. It has to be a full-on, knocked-out sleep when you're completely unconscious and unaware.
So, in other words, the boss and I are going to be stuck like this for at least the rest of the day.
At least. And the two of you have to be asleep. If either one of you stays up or just lightly dozes, the switch won't occur, and you'll have to try again.
Why is it I feel like you're talking about me more than you are the assistant, more than you are my assistant?
I heard that.
I caught myself, didn't I?
Well, don't take this the wrong way, boss, but your lack of a proper sleep schedule is infamous around here. You and Rags will just have to agree on a time to return to your dorms and turn in for the night.
All right. Is it one of those things where if we don't do it by like midnight, it won't work?
It doesn't look like it. It looks like the two of you just have to be sound asleep at the exact same time for it to work.
Hmm.
We can talk it over later if you'd like. I mean, we're not working today anyways. There's still plenty of time to come up with a game plan.
Fine. Just know that I'll be docking your pay for this later, Jeremy.
Oh, come on!
Maybe we're just overthinking this a little bit. Maybe Rags was just, I don't know, defensive? Stressed because of this whole voodoo doll situation?
Come on, Sally. You know Wally almost as well as I do by now. That threat was 100% all him. And did you notice? They acted just like Wally would whenever someone would mess with Neighbor. Just a lot more menacing. And that threat wasn't an empty one either. I could see it in their eyes. Or Wally's eyes. Or whatever's going on there.
What if Rags was right? What if they and Wally wind up becoming each other?
Well, if I'm being honest, Wally could stand to learn a thing or two about empathy from Rags right now. But Rags? The last thing anyone needs is a neighborhood creature taking notes from the Midnight Maniac.
I feel like it's the other way around. Nothing against Rags or anything, but if we're talking about which is stronger, Wally's mind and how it works, or Rags's consciousness, Wally's wins out every time.
Not every time. Rags does have a leg up on Wally in one aspect. His past and the missing pieces of his memory. For the past few months, Wally had never even thought about it. In his mind, he didn't need to think about it. But Rags makes him think about it. And I think he's gradually coming to the realization that something's not quite right here.
That's it. Howdy, you're a genius.
Wait, I am?
If Rags can be influenced by Wally's mind while they're him at the moment, maybe they can also tap into it to see what all is actually there. It'd be the ultimate form of mind picking.
That's brilliant.
Come on, we gotta find them before they and Wally switch back into their own bodies.
Whoa, okay, where's the fire?
Rags?
Yeah, still me.
What's going on? What happened with the voodoo dolls?
Unfortunately, it looks like the boss and I are stuck like this until at least the end of the day. As for the dolls,
Oh, it's actually kind of cute.
Creepy?
the dolls were stuffed with our hair Jeremy managed to collect from our hairbrushes. This one with mine, even though it looks like the boss, and his with his own, even though it looks like me.
Super creepy? Remind me to put Jeremy on the pink line tomorrow. That's fucked up. Anyways, did you need something?
Yeah, I wanted to apologize for how I acted earlier. Whatever the hell came over me,
I'm the one that should be apologizing. That was a low blow, stepping up to the boss when he wasn't even in his own body. Let's face it, even though I got a few inches over on Wally height-wise, I'm nowhere near as strong as he is. It was cowardly. If it had happened under normal circumstances, I definitely would have been thrown into the grinder for that one.
So, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. Now, back to what I was saying earlier. What's going on? Why did Sally just try to bolt out of our dorm room?
Howdy and I came up with an idea. If Wally's mind was able to influence your behavior, then maybe it's possible for your consciousness to tap into it and see just what he's able to remember.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I've tried that already. A few times, actually. The best I was able to get was some weird flashback while I was talking to Barnaby, Julie, and Neighbor.
Well, what was the flashback then? Maybe it can serve as a jumping off point for you to help Wally.
It was something the boss had said to himself at some point or another. Let's see. I think it went something along the lines of, forget them, run the factory.
Forget them, run the factory? Just what exactly is that supposed to mean?
If I had to guess, it could mean that Neighbor's death was the emotional straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. I mean, think about it. His mother, Ophelia, Barnaby, Julie, and then his assistant that he had grown incredibly close to. There's only so much loss that one person can take before their mind begins to fracture.
Makes sense. And all that's without mentioning the divorce and Wally overworking himself day after day.
So, what? He just chose to forget everybody he's ever cared about?
Well, considering the way he started spiraling after Neighbor died, Wally probably figured it was either him or the factory. He could either let himself be consumed by his guilt and grief and have the factory go to shit, or he could bury those feelings and just focus on being a manager. And believe me, as much stress as this place causes him, Wally still cares about the Rainbow Factory. It means a lot to him.
Yeah, that tracks. When I first arrived at this facility, he said as much himself. He said that the only thing that matters to him is this factory and the colors it produces.
So that's it then. He doesn't even see us as friends. We're all just cogs in this machine that he operates.
Well, there is a little bit of hope. After the two of us found Barnaby's journal in Wally's private lab, the boss actually pulled me aside to talk privately. He was actually taken aback by your conviction about Ophelia in the Regeneration project, and he admitted that the more he thought about it, the the more blanks he found himself drawing.
Wait, really?
Yep. And he's gradually letting himself at least entertain the idea of letting me help him fill in those blanks. Granted, he hasn't approached me about it since then, but as the saying goes, the first step to solving any problem is acknowledging that there is one.
That's great, though. One step in the right direction is better than no steps at all.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure with a bit of coaxing and all of our support, we can finally get the ball rolling on helping him heal from his past trauma.
Where are you headed off to now?
Well, I'm still under orders to clean up Walden's dorm, and I've barely managed to get started on it. And trust me, having a clean place to live that doesn't smell like death is going to help a lot. Okay. Laundry? Check. Trash? Check. Dusting? Check. Scrubbing and disinfecting? Check. Throw out any expired food? Check. I think all that's left is inventory, and we should be good. Well, whatever that smell was, it's gone now. Wouldn't surprise me if it was just the collective stench of all the funk in this place.
Well, well, well. Looks like you've managed to keep yourself busy this morning.
Same with you. What, did you decide to spend some time in the gym?
Yep. There's nothing that helps me relieve stress more than being able to wail on a punching bag for a little while. And I think it's helped me understand you a bit more.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, for instance, you have a 35-mile-per-hour bipedal sprint and a 60-mile-per-hour quadrupedal gallop.
Fancy science words.
You can run 35 miles per hour on two legs and 60 miles per hour on all fours. You also have a fairly impressive amount of stamina, being able to maintain those speeds for at least a 2-mile distance before tiring.
Don't take this the wrong way, sir, but you don't sound very impressed.
Oh my gosh, assistant, I had no idea you could run between 35 and 60 miles per hour. Very impressive.
Okay, smart ass. I'll admit I can run pretty far and fast. Kinda had to while I was living out in the woods.
What? Did people try hunting you down like you were wild game or something?
That's exactly what they tried to do. How do you think I got all those patches?
Hang on. The reason you were so torn up when I found you was because people would go out and try to hunt you?
Yeah. It's like I told you when we first met in your office. The animalistic noises I would make was the only way I could get people to leave me alone before I resorted to using my wires on them.
So, you were never really much of a killer then, were you?
I'm a ragdoll. We ragdolls are known for a lot of things. Aggression and violence? Not one of them.
And you said when I was filling out your employee file that your sibling TomTom had you driven out of the cross-stitch community for allegedly harming a client. Just how true was that then?
Completely and totally not true at all. He'd already been injured when he came in. He was actually the younger brother of my most frequent visitor, Morty. He didn't say much about what had happened. His brother was just angry and lonely and was seeking comfort. I made us all some coffee, let the man vent about his son and his late wife, and eventually he went on his way. The way I see it, Tom Tom just used his injured appearance for his own benefit.
Okay, this is going to sound really random, but your most frequent visitor, Morty, was his full name Mordecai, perchance?
Yeah?
Mordecai Darling. Kinda middle-aged, curly hair, always dresses in really fancy, expensive clothes.
Yeah? How do you know that?
That's my uncle. And the injured idiot he brought to you? That was my dad.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Pause. Not to change the subject or anything, but how the fuck do you remember that?
How could I not? I despise my father. I have to remember that because he tries to visit me here at the factory from time to time.
That's it. That's it, boss. That's where we can start looking for answers to help you remember all that you've forgotten.
You really want to do this now? While we're like this?
No. It'll probably work out a lot better with the two of us back in our own bodies, with you dealing with your brain and me dealing with mine.
Okay, but mind you, the two of us only woke up like 5 hours ago. And as good of a workout as I just had, I'm still far from drowsy. It'll have to wait until at least tomorrow, unless you have a better idea.
Yeah. I've got a better idea. I'll be right back.